Session.
Hello. Welcome to another session of Quarantine Theater Company. We've got a little fun planned for tonight because we're ridiculous and we love innovation here at Quarantine Theater Company. If anything else, we love to be ridiculous, completely ridiculous. We will be reading Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. However, every character is going to be read as an impersonation of someone else completely unrelated to this movie. So enjoy. So who we got tonight? We've got, as I don't know, I'm calling her George Lucas tonight. We've got Carol doing the scene description. Yay, she's her first time doing this for us. Oh god, I almost knocked water over. All right, as Obi-Wan Kenobi, we have Charlie, who will be doing this as Sean Connery. And we've got as Qui-Gon Jinn, we've got Johnny joining us. And Johnny tonight will be Uncle Jeff Goldblum. All right. And then we have George with us tonight. George is going to be our Anakin Skywalker. Again. Our Anakin Skywalker as Danny DeVito. So that should be interesting. Then we've got Alexander with us. It's been a while since we've had Alexander. He's going to be our Amidala tonight. But Amidala is going to be read as Samantha Jones from Sex and the City. It's going to be fabulous. We also have Hunter with us tonight. He is going to be our Palpatine / Sidious. And rightfully so, he's going to be impersonating Donald Trump. There literally was no other option for that character. None. He's also going to be Watto as Tommy Wiseau. That'll be fun. They'll have the sex, right? All the sex. I don't know with what, but yeah, anyway. Kevin is going to be joining us as Jar Jar Binks. And, deciding these, we kind of took initial votes on what impersonations we have in our cadre of things. And we decided on Mickey Mouse for Jar Jar. So that's going to be great. I'm going to be doing a couple small things here. I'm going to be Shmi, but I'm going to be doing it as Mama Fratelli. Rune Hako, I'm going to be doing that as Jennifer Coolidge. And then Captain Panaka as Michael Caine. Don't know why I decided to do that. All right, Chelsea's joining us tonight too. Welcome, Chelsea. She's going to be our 3PO as Christopher Walken. And she's also going to be Darth Maul, but reading that as Owen Wilson. Can I get a wow? No?
Wow.
Yes. All right. And Curtis. Yay, Curtis is with us. He is going to be our Mace Windu. However, Mace Windu is going to be played by Eric Cartman. It's going to be crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Cravey? Dear God, this is going to be a long night. And last but not the least, by any means, we've got Logan joining us. Logan is doing multiple duty tonight, too. He is going to be a Jabba the Hutt, but Jabba is going to be played by SpongeBob SquarePants. Yoda as Daffy Duck, and Nate Gunray as David Tennant, and Sebulba as Gollum. We all have lots of roles to play tonight, so bear with us. We hope this is ridiculous fun. So without further ado, Carol, take us away.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, written by George Lucas. Exterior, space. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. A vast sea of stars serves as the backdrop for the main title, followed by a roll-up, which crawls into infinity. Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems is in dispute. Hoping to resolve the matter with a blockade of deadly battleships, the greedy Trade Federation has stopped all shipping to and from the small planet of Naboo. While the Congress of the Republic endlessly debates the alarming chain of events, the Supreme Chancellor has secretly dispatched 2 Jedi Knights, the Guardians of Peace, to settle the conflict. Pan down to reveal a small space cruiser heading toward camera at great speed. Pan with the cruiser as it heads toward the beautiful green planet of Naboo, which is surrounded by hundreds of Trade Federation battleships. Interior, Republic cruiser, cockpit. In the cockpit of the cruiser, the captain and pilot maneuver closer to one of the battleships.
Cap. Captain. Yeah. Captain. Captain.
Carol, you can read the other thing.
Captain, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Tell them.
No, wait, hold on. So there's scene description there.
There
And
is?
somebody's captain. Yeah, the captain turns to unseen.
Oh, sorry.
That's why you kept saying captain.
Just improv.
The captain turns to an unseen figure sitting behind him.
Like poop.
Yes, sir.
Tell them we wish to board at once.
Yes, sir.
The captain turns back to his view screen, where Newt Gunray, an odd-looking Nemoidian trade viceroy, waits for a reply.
With respect to the Trade Federation, the ambassadors for the Supreme Chancellor wish to board immediately.
Yeah, well, of course. As you know, our blockade is perfectly legal, and I'd be happy to receive the ambassadors forthwith.
The screen goes black. Out the cockpit window, the sinister battleship looms ever closer. Exterior, Federation battleship, docking bay, space. The small space cruiser docks in the enormous main bay of the Federation battleship. Interior, Federation battleship, docking bay, space. A protocol droid, TC-3, waits at the door to the docking bay. Two worker droids, PK-4 and EGA-9, stand in the foreground.
Whoever it is must be important if the Viceroy sent one of those useless protocol gearheads to greet them.
The door opens, and the Republic cruiser can be seen in the docking bay. Two darkly robed figures are greeted by TC-3. They move off down the hallway.
Republic cruiser! That's trouble! Don't you think?
I'll not be to think.
Interior, Federation battleship, conference room. A door slides open, and the two cloaked shapes are led past camera into the formal conference room by TC-3.
I hope you honored sirs with the most comfortable here. The master will be with you shortly.
The droid bows before Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. He backs out the door and it closes. The Jedi lower their hoods and look out a large window at the lush green planet of Naboo. Qui-Gon, 60 years old, has very long white hair and a ponytail. He is tall and striking with blue eyes. Obi-Wan is 25 with very short brown hair, pale skin, and blue eyes. Several exotic bird-like creatures sing in a cage near the door.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I don't feel anything.
It's not about the mission, Master. It's something elsewhere. Elusive.
Don't center on your anxiety, Obi-Wan. Keep your concentration where it belongs.
Master Yoda says I should be mindful of the future.
But not at the expense of the moment. Be mindful, living force, my young Padawan.
Yes, Master. How do you think this trade viceroy will deal with the Chancellor's demands?
These Federation types are cowards. The negotiations will be Shorts. Yes.
Interior, Federation Battleship Bridge. Newt Gunray and Dalte Dauphine stand stunned before TC3.
What? What did you say? The ambassadors are Jedi Knights, I believe. To force a settlement, eh? Blindly, we're done. Stay calm. Look, I'll wager the Senate isn't even aware of the Supreme Chancellor's moves here. Go, distract them until I can contact Lord Sidious. Are you brain dead? Go, your name is Jedi. Yeah.
Interior, Federation Battleship Conference Room. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan sit at the large conference table.
Is it their nature to make us wait this long?
Qui-Gon is thinking. The door to the conference room slides open and TC3 enters with a tray of drinks and food. Obi-Wan takes a drink.
No. I sense a usual unusual amount of fear here for something as trivial as a trade dispute. Yeah.
Interior, Federation Battleship Bridge. Newt, Dauphine, and Rune Hako are before the hologram of Darth Sidious, a robed figure whose face is obscured by a hood.
The scheme of yours has failed, Lord Sidious. The blockade is finished. We dare not go against the Jedi.
You seem more worried about the Jedi than you do about me, Dauphine. I am amused. Viceroy.
Newt, looking nervous, steps forward.
Yes, my lord.
I don't want this stunted slime in my sight again, okay? Do you understand?
Yes, my lord.
Newt gives Dauphine a fierce look, and Dauphine, terrified, rushes off the bridge.
This turn of events is unfortunate. We must accelerate our plans. Viceroy, begin landing your troops.
What, my lord, is that legal?
I will make it legal.
And the Jedi?
The Chancellor should have never have brought them into this. Kill them immediately.
Yes, my lord. As you wish.
Interior, Republic cruiser, cockpit, docking bay. In the cockpit of the cruiser, the captain and pilot look up and see a gun turret swing around and point directly at them.
Captain, look!
No, Warren.
Exterior, Federation battleship, hangar bay, space. The battleship gun fires. The Republic cruiser explodes. Interior, Federation battleship, conference room. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan leap to a standing position with their laser swords drawn. TC jumps back, startled, spilling the drinks on his tray.
Wait, it really says laser swords? Sorry.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan turn off their swords and listen intently. A faint hissing sound can be heard.
Yes.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan each take a sudden deep breath and hold it. The exotic bird-like creatures in the cage drop dead. Interior, Federation battleship hallway. A hologram of Newt surrounded by battle droids appears in the conference room hallway.
They must be dead by now. Blast what's left of them.
The hologram fades off as the battle droid 001 cautiously opens the door. A deadly green cloud billows out from the room. Battle droids cock their weapons as the figure stumbles out of the smoke. It is TC3 carrying the tray of drinks.
Oh, excuse me. So sorry.
The protocol droid passes the armed camp just as two flashing laser swords fly out of the deadly fog, cutting down several battle droids before they can fire. Interior, Federation battleship, bridge. The bridge is a cacophony of alarms. Newt and Rune watch 001 on the view screen.
Not sure exactly what.
001 is suddenly cut off in half of mid-sentence. Rune gives Newt a worried look.
What in blazes is going on down there?
Have you ever encountered a Jedi Knight before, sir? Got horrible.
Not exactly, but I don't. Feel the bridge.
Oh, that won't be enough, sir.
The doors to the bridge slam shut.
Can't do it.
I want destroyer droids in there at once.
We will not. We won't survive.
Interior, Federation battleship hallway, outside bridge. Qui-Gon cuts several battle droids in half, creating a shower of sparks and metal parts. Obi-Wan raises his hand, sending several battle droids crashing into the wall. Qui-Gon makes his way to the bridge door and begins to cut through it. Interior, Federation battleship, bridge. The crew is very nervous as sparks start flying around the bridge door. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are on the view screen.
The blast doors.
The huge, very thick blast doors slam shut, followed by a second door, then a third. There's a hissing sound as the huge doors seal shut. Qui-Gon stabs the door with his sword. The screens go black as a red spot appears in the center of the blast door.
Well, they're still coming through. Oh.
On the door, chunks of molten metal begin to drop away.
Impossible. This is impossible.
Oh. Where are those destroyer droids?
Interior, Federation battleship hallway, outside bridge. 10 ugly destroyer wheel droids roll down the hallway at full speed. Just before they get to the bridge area, they stop and transform into their battle configuration. Qui-Gon can't see them, but senses their presence.
Destroyer droids.
Offhand, I'd say this mission is past the negotiation stage.
I know.
The wheel droids, led by P-59, rush the entry area from 3 hallways, blasting away with their laser guns. They stop firing and stand in a semicircle as the smoke clears. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are nowhere to be seen.
Here's P-59. Switch to bio. Where they? There they are.
The Jedi materialize at the far end of the hallway and dash through a doorway that slams shut. Interior, Federation battleship, bridge. Newt and Rune stand on the bridge, watching the view screen as the wheel droid's POV speeds to the doorway.
Oh, we have them on the run, sir. Makes me want a hot dog real bad. They're no match for our destroyer droids. It's Queen Amidala herself.
I lost. We're getting results.
On the view screen, Queen Amidala appears in her throne room. Wearing her elaborate headdress and robes, she sits surrounded by the governing council and 4 handmaidens.
Again, you come before me, Your Highness. The Federation is pleased.
You will not be so pleased when you hear what I have to say, Viceroy. Your trade boycott has ended.
I was not aware of such a failure.
I have word that the Senate is finally voting on this blockade of yours.
I take it you know the outcome. I wonder if they bothered to vote.
Enough of this pretense, Viceroy. I'm aware the Chancellor's ambassadors are with you now, and that you have been commanded to reach a settlement.
I know nothing about any ambassadors. You must be mistaken.
Beware, Viceroy. The Federation is going too far this time.
Your Majesty, we would never do anything without the approval of the Senate. You assume too much. Good day.
The Queen fades off and the view screen goes black.
Oh, she's right. The Senate will never.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Do you think she suspects an attack?
I don't know, but we have to move quickly to disrupt all communications down there.
Oh.
Interior, Naboo Palace throne room. The Queen and her governor, Sayo Bibble, stand before a hologram of Senator Palpatine, a thin, kindly man.
How could that be true? I have assurances from the Chancellor his ambassadors did arrive, okay? It must be the negotiate. Oh, you're breaking up. Okay.
The
Oh, Jesus
hologram of
Christ, finally
Palpatine.
got them off the phone. I hate talking to that Amidala bitch. What?
The
But I'm still
hologram of
on?
Palpatine sputters and fades away.
Senator Palpatine, we're losing you. What's happening?
Captain Panaka turns to his sergeant.
Check the transmission generators.
A malfunction?
Could be the Federation jamming us, Your Highness.
Communications disruption can mean only one thing. I once had a hot dog that tried calling me through its iPhone, and then I realized it wasn't even a hot dog, it was a corn dog. But it can mean only one thing, invasion.
Don't jump to conclusions, Governor. The Federation would not dare invade.
The Senate would revoke their trade permits and they would be finished for good.
We must continue to rely on negotiation.
Negotiation? We lost all communications. Chancellors and ambassadors. How can we negotiate? We must prepare to defend ourselves.
This is a dangerous situation, Your Highness. Our security volunteers will be no match against the battle-hardened Federation army if they do invade.
I will not condone a course of action that will lead us to war.
Interior, Federation Battleship, Main Bay. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan appear at the large vent in a giant hangar bay. They are careful not to be seen. Thousands of battle droids are loading onto landing craft.
Battle droids.
An invasion army. An invasion army. This is not defensive.
It's an odd play for the Trade Federation. We've got to warn the Naboo and contact Chancellor Valorum.
You're right about this one, Master. The negotiations were short.
Exterior, space landing craft, Twilight. 6 landing craft fly in formation toward the surface of the planet Naboo. Exterior, Naboo swamp, shallow lake, Twilight. 3 landing craft slowly descend through the cloud cover of the perpetually gray twilight side of the planet. One by one, the Federation warships land in the eerie swamp. Obi-Wan's head emerges from the mud of a shallow lake. Far in the background, the activities of the invasion force can be seen in the mist. Obi-Wan takes several deep breaths, then disappears again under the muddy swamp. Troop transports emerge from the landing craft. Exterior, Naboo swamp, Twilight. Qui-Gon runs through the strange landscape, glancing back to see the monstrous troop transports emerging from the mist. Animals begin to run past him in a panic. An odd, frog-like Gungan, Jar Jar Binks, squats, holding a clam he has retrieved from the milky swamp. The shell pops open, and Jar Jar's great tongue snaps out and grabs the clam, swallowing it in one gulp. Jar Jar looks up and sees Qui-Gon and the other creatures running like the wind toward him. One of the huge troop transports bears down on the Jedi like a charging locomotive. Jar Jar stands transfixed, still holding the clamshell in one hand.
Oh no!
Jar Jar drops the shell and grabs onto Qui-Gon as he passes. The Jedi is caught by surprise.
Hey, help me! Help me!
Let go.
The machine is about to crush them as Qui-Gon drags Jar Jar behind him. Just as the transport is about to hit them, Qui-Gon drops, and Jar Jar goes splat into the mud with him. The transport races overhead. Qui-Gon and Jar Jar pull themselves out of the mud. They stand watching the war machines disappear into the mist. Jar Jar grabs Qui-Gon and hugs him.
Oi, boy, I loves you!
A frog-like creature kisses the Jedi.
Are you brainless? You almost got us killed.
I speak!
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. Now get out of here.
Qui-Gon starts to move off, and Jar Jar follows.
No, Misa, stay. Misa, your humble servant.
That won't be necessary.
Oh, but tis demanded. What the good? Tis a live death it is. Misa called Jar Jar Binks.
In the distance, two stars burst out of the mist at high speed, chasing Obi-Wan.
I have no time for this.
Say what?
The two steps barrel down on Obi-Wan.
Oh no! Where's the gun?
Qui-Gon throws Jar Jar into the mud.
Stay down.
His head pops up.
Die!
The two troops fire laser bolts at Obi-Wan. Qui-Gon deflects the bolts back, and the steps blow up. 1-2. Obi-Wan is exhausted and tries to catch his breath.
Ah, sorry, Master. The swamp fried my weapon.
Obi-Wan pulls out his burnt laser sword handle. Qui-Gon expects it as Jar Jar pulls himself out of the mud.
Forgot to turn your power off again, didn't you? No, it won't take a long to recharge, but this is a lesson I hope you've learned, my young Padawan. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Master.
You saved me again, hey!
What's this?
A local. Let's go before more of these droids show up.
More? More to speak?
Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon start to run. Jar Jar tries to keep up.
Oh, excuse me, but a monogram the safe place would be off the gun. 'Tis where I grew up, to safe city.
They all stop.
City. Can you take us there?
Will. On second thought, no, not will.
No.
It's embarrassing, but I'm afraid I've been banished. I forgot the bosses would do terrible things to my terrible things if I go back there.
A pulsating sound is heard in the distance.
You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
That is the sound of 1,000 terrible things headed this way.
When they find us, they will crush us, grind us into little pieces, and then blast us into oblivion.
Oh, use the point is well seen. This way, hurry!
Jar Jar turns and runs into the swamp. Exterior, Naboo, edge of swamp grass plains, sunrise. The droid invasion force moves out of the swamp and onto a grassy plain. 9 in his tank looks out over the vast army machine marching across the rolling hills. The small hologram of Rune and Newt stands on the tank.
There's no trace of the Jedi. They may have gotten onto one of your landing craft.
If they're down here, sir, we'll find them. Finally, we are moving out of the swamp and marching on the city of Oxen. There is no resistance.
Ah, excellent. Yay.
Exterior, Naboo Swamp Lake, twilight. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Jar Jar run into a murky lake and stop as Jar Jar tries to catch his breath. The transports are heard in the distance.
Whew.
Much farther?
We goes on the water. Okay.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan pull out small capsules from their utility belts that turn into breathing masks.
My warning is, youngers not like Outlanders. Don't expect a warm welcome.
Don't worry. This
Master, you're stealing my line, you bloody bastard.
sorry.
Don't worry, this has not been our day for warm welcomes.
Jar Jar jumps, does a double somersault with a twist, and dives into the water. Breath masks on, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan wade in after him. Exterior, Naboo Lake underwater. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan swim behind Jar Jar, who is very much at home in the water. Down they swim into the murky depths. In the distance, the glow of Otoh-Gunga, an underwater city made up of large bubbles, becomes more distinct. Gungans in the square scatter when they see the strange Jedi. They approach the strange Art Nouveau habitat. Jar Jar swims magically through one of the bubble membranes, which seals behind him. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon follow. Interior, Otoh-Gunga, City Square. 4 guards armed with long electro poles ride 2-legged Kadus into the square. The guards, led by Captain Tarples, point their lethal poles at the dripping trio.
Captain Tarples, we's a buck.
No again. Jar Jar, you should go into the bosses. You send big doo-doo this time. Okay.
Captain Tarples gives Jar Jar a slight zap with his power pole. Jar Jar jumps and moves off, followed by the 2 Jedi.
How rude.
Interior, Otoh-Gunga, high tower boardroom. The boss's boardroom has bubble walls with small lighted fish swimming around outside like moving stars. A long circular judge's bench filled with Gungan officials dominates the room. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon stand facing Boss Nass, who sits on the bench higher than the others.
Used to king up peace here. This is the army of mechanics. I don't know. They're super strong up there.
That droid army is about to attack Naboo. We must warn them.
We should know like to Naboo. They just dumb. They don't like us. They think they smarty, and we's is smart, and they think they brains is so big.
After those droids take control of the Shevish, they will come down here and take control of it.
I don't think so, Mr. Smarty Pants from out of town. They can't talk with us. They can't come down here. They can't swim underwater like us. And we can't talk with them outlanders. There's mechanics, they don't come here. We don't know them, and they don't know us.
You and the Naboo are a symbiotic circle. What happens to one of you will affect the other. You must understand this.
We should wish no nothing on them, on used to things, and we should no care about the Naboo or Yusin, you outlanders. We care about us awesome people down here.
Send us on our way.
I think I'm gonna speed yous on your way.
We need transport.
Well, I'll give you a bongo. Bongos is fun. Go. Speediest way to Naboo is through the plant core. It's super fun, and there's lots of monsters. So have fun.
Thank you for your help. We go in. Yes. We go in peace.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan turn to leave.
Master, what is a bongo?
A transport, I hope.
The Jedi notice Jar Jar in chains to one side, waiting to hear his verdict. Qui-Gon stops. Jar Jar gives him a forlorn look.
That's a send you up. Goes through the planet core. He's bad bombing.
Thank you, my friend.
Any help here would be hot.
Jar Jar's soulful look is counterpointed by a sheepish grin.
We don't have time, Master.
Time spent here may help us. Jar Jar here may be of use to us.
I sense a loss of focus.
Be mindful, my young Padawan, your sensitivity to the living force is not your strength.
Obi-Wan is embarrassed. Qui-Gon walks back to the boss Nass.
What is to become of Jar Jar Binks here?
Them there Banks, he broke into non-combative whatchamacallit law. He's to be punished.
He is a great help to us. I hope punishment will not be too severe.
No, he's gonna be pounded to death.
Oh, ouch!
It's gonna be super fun.
Obi-Wan looks concerned. Qui-Gon is thinking.
We need a navigator to get us through the planet's core. I have saved Jar Jar Binks' life. He owes me what you call a life debt.
Hey Banks, used to having to live play with this hissing, droosin, bushin, doosin?
Jar Jar nods and joins the Jedi. Qui-Gon waves his hand.
Your gods demand that his life belongs to me now.
The flibbity flabbins, fine, you could have him. I don't care anymore anyway. Be gone.
Gonna miss the death. Better dead here than deader in a core. Yes, good. What's am I saying?
Interior, Federation Battleship Bridge. Newt and Rune stand before a hologram of Darth Sidious.
Oh, hello. The invasion is on schedule, my lord.
Good. I have the Senate bogged down in procedures. By the time this incident comes up for a vote, you'll have no choice but to accept your control of the system.
The Queen has great faith the Senate will side with her.
Queen Amidala is young and naive, okay? Controlling her will not be difficult. You've done well, Viceroy.
Oh, thank you, my lord.
What about the missing Jedi?
Don't need to report that to him until we have something to report.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Exterior, Naboo Lake underwater. Sub. A strange little submarine propels itself away from Otoganga, leaving the glow of the settlement in the distance. Interior, sub cockpit, underwater. Obi-Wan in the co-pilot's seat guides the craft.
This is nothing.
Master, why do you always drag these pathetic life forms along with us?
He'll be helpful. You'll see.
This time, where's the dying? Hey!
Obi-Wan turns the controls over to Jar Jar.
Yeah, take over.
Hey! What is this?
You're our navigator.
Yo, dreaming. Makes it open.
Don't worry. The Force will guide us.
Oh, mix it big. The Force. Well, and that smells stink away.
Jar Jar veers the craft to the left and turns the lights on. The coral vistas are grand, fantastic, and wondrous.
Jar Jar, why were you banished?
Oh, that's a long tale, but small part. What a be miss? Clumsy?
They banished you because you were clumsy?
As the little sub glides ever deeper into the planet core, a large dark shape begins to follow.
It's a cause of maybe one or two little bitty accident. You to say wunderbar gas uncrashed the process, then vanished. Suddenly there is a loud crash and the little craft lurches to one side. Qui-Gon looks around and sees a huge luminous OPC killer has hooked them with its long gooey tongue.
Yes. Full speed ahead.
Instead of full speed ahead, Jar Jar jams the controls into reverse. The sub flies into the mouth of the creature. Crunch! The OPC killer has one wing of the craft in its jaws. Small pieces begin to break off.
Whoops!
Forward! Forward!
I can do this. I can.
I'll take over.
Obi-Wan takes over the controls. There was a loud thud, screech, and the OPC killer instantly releases the sub from its mouth and it floats free.
Pizza free!
How did you do that?
Sure.
The sub zooms away from certain death, and they see a larger set of jaws munching on the hapless killer. The jaws belong to the incredible Sando Aqua Monster. It is dark. The lights on the tiny sub begin to flicker as they cruise deeper into the gloom.
You's a Jedi. Not all you's a crack to be. Ho-ho!
Sparks are flying and water is leaking into the cabin. The sound of the power drive drops.
Losing power.
Obi-Wan is working with the sparking wires.
Stay calm. We're not in trouble yet.
What? Yet? Monsters out there? Liking in here? All sinking? Oh, no power? You not? When you think to ease the trouble? That's more Mario.
Oh, power spark.
The lights flicker on, relieving an ugly Colo clawfish right in front of them.
Monsters back!
The large Colo clawfish is surprised and rears back. The sub turns around and speeds away.
Oh! We's in trouble now!
Relax.
Qui-Gon puts his hand on Jar Jar's shoulder. Jar Jar relaxes into a coma.
You overdid it, Master. He's out.
The Colo clawfish leaps after the fleeing sub as it shoots out of the tunnel and into the waiting jaws of the Sando Aqua Monster.
This is not good.
Jar Jar regains consciousness.
Oh, we's a dead yet. Oh, boy.
Jar Jar's eyes bulge and he faints again. The sub narrowly avoids the deadly teeth of the Aqua Monster. The Colo clawfish chasing them isn't so lucky. It is munched in half by the larger predator. The little sub zips away.
Head for that outcropping.
Exterior, Theed. Main road into Theed, day. The long columns of the droid army move down the main road leading to Theed, the Naboo capital. Interior, Federation Battleship conference room. Rune and Newt stand before a hologram of Darth Sidious. They are cowering in terror.
You define me?
Of course not, my lord. Of course not. It's just that the Jedi are not easily destroyed, and I'm not sure they're dead, and we can't confirm it.
They are alive. They will show themselves. And then I will deal with them myself.
Yes, my lord.
Interior, Naboo Lake, underwater, sub. The little sub continues to propel itself toward the surface, which is brightly lit.
We did it!
Exterior, Theed. Estuary, day. Paradise. Billowing clouds frame a romantic body of water. There's a loud rush of bubbles and a small sub bobs to the surface. The current in the estuary begins to pull the sub backward into the fast-moving river. Obi-Wan switches off the two remaining bubble canopies. Qui-Gon stands up to look around. Jar Jar lets out a sigh of relief.
Oh, this is good.
This is not good.
This is very good.
Obi-Wan stands alongside his master.
What is it?
Get this thing started.
Jar Jar stands and looks back to where they're drifting. He sees they are headed for a huge waterfall.
Oh, what? Oh, no!
Jar Jar sits and tries to start the engine. The long props behind the sub slowly begin to rotate. Jar Jar frantically struggles with the starter until finally it starts and is able to generate enough power to stop drifting backward into the powerful current, a few feet short of the waterfall. The sub slowly moves forward. Obi-Wan sits down. In the background, Qui-Gon takes a cable out of his utility belt.
Full throttle.
Jar Jar floors the gas and the engine coughs and dies. They start drifting backward. Jar Jar panics.
We still die.
Qui-Gon throws the thin cable and it wraps itself around a railing on the shore. The sub pulls the cable taut and the little craft hangs precariously over the edge of the waterfall.
Come on. Time to go ashore.
Obi-Wan climbs out of the sub and pulls himself along the cable. Qui-Gon starts in after him.
Come on, Jar Jar.
Nope. I'm staying here. Too dangerous out there.
Suit yourself, but look out there.
As Qui-Gon gets into the water and starts pulling himself along the rope, Jar Jar looks back and sees he is hanging over the waterfall.
Oh boy, me's coming. Me's a coming.
Jar Jar starts to come out of the sub. Obi-Wan is on the shore and helps to pull Qui-Gon out of the water.
That was close.
Drop your weapons.
The two Jedi turn around and see 5 battle droids standing in front of them, guns down. Jar Jar climbs up on shore between the 2 Jedi as they move forward to stand in front of the droids. Jar Jar sits on the railing.
Come on, Jar Jar.
Guys are not thinking this is safe.
Jar Jar, get up here.
No. Mighty no.
Jar Jar pounds his fists on the railing, breaking loose the cable, which causes the sub to go over the waterfall.
Whoops. Sorry.
I said drop your weapons.
The Jedi ignite their laser swords, and in a brief flash, all 5 droids are cut down by the 2 Jedi. They walk forward through the rubble toward the palace. Jar Jar follows and looks back at the mess. Exterior, Theed, Palace, day. The waterfalls of Theed are sprinkled in the noonday sun. Interior, Theed, Palace throne room, day. Queen Amidala, Sayo Bibble, and 4 of her handmaidens are surrounded by 20 droids. Captain Panaka and 4 Naboo guards are held at gunpoint. A hologram of Newt and Rune stands in the middle of the room.
And how do you plan to explain an invasion to the Senate, Viceroy?
Well, with your cooperation, Your Highness, we will forge an alliance that will be ratified by the Senate, I'm sure.
Oh, I don't think so, you little coward.
Now, Your Highness, you're not going to be like that. You're not going to like what we have in store for your people. In time, their suffering will persuade you to see our point of view.
Never.
Commander, process them. Commander?
Yes, sir. Take them to camp.
The sergeant marches the group out of the throne room. Exterior, palace, plaza, day. Queen Amidala, her 4 handmaidens, Captain Panaka, Sayo Bibble, and 4 guards are led out of the palace by 10 battle droids. The plaza is filled with tanks and battle droids, which they pass on their way to the detention camp. Suddenly, the battle droids stop the group in a quiet area away from the other droids. Standing in their way are the 2 Jedi Knights, with a very frightened Gungan peeking out from behind them.
You, Amidala of the Naboo.
Yes, I am.
We seek an audience with Your Majesty. We
For
seek-
battle.
Clear them away.
4 battle droids step forward to escort the Jedi and are instantly cut down. More droids move forward and are also cut down by the Jedi's flashing lightsabers until there are no droids left.
Stars bombard.
Queen Amidala and the others are amazed. Jar Jar is getting used to this. They move into an alcove between 2 buildings.
Your Highness, we are ambassadors for the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic.
Your negotiations seem to have failed, Ambassador.
We must make contact with the Republic.
Captain Panaka steps forward.
They've knocked out all our communications.
Do you have transports?
And the main hangar. This way?
They disappear down an alleyway as the alarms are sounded. Interior, central hangar, hallway, day. Captain Panaka cracks open a side door to the central hangar. Qui-Gon looks in over his shoulder. They see several Naboo spacecraft guarded by about 50 battle droids. Alarms can be heard in the distance.
There are too many of them.
That won't be a problem. Your Highness, under these circumstances, I suggest apartments.com, or you come to Coruscant with us.
Thank you, Ambassador, but my place is here with my people.
They will, they'll kill you if you stay, Your Highness.
I don't agree. They need me to sign a treaty and make this legal. I don't think they can afford to lose me.
The situation here is not what it seems. There is something else behind this. There is no logic in the Federation's move. My feelings tell me they will destroy you.
Please, Your Majesty, reconsider. Our only hope is for the Senate to side with us. Senator Palpatine will need your help, and he may also pull your endocrine system out of your body. But that's just what I think. I don't know.
Wow. Your Highness, this plan is too dangerous. Getting out will make here not be easy.
I'll stay here with my possum and do what I can.
If you are to leave, Your Highness, it must be now.
We will join you then. Be careful, Governor. You are important to us all.
Interior, central hangar, day. The door opens to the main hangar. Qui-Gon, Jar Jar, Captain Panaka, 2 guards, and 2 handmaidens, followed by Queen Amidala, head for the sleek chrome spacecraft. Sio Bibble and the 2 handmaidens stay behind. The handmaidens begin to cry as Sio Bibble watches them approach the ship.
The role of Captain Panaka will now be played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I can do that better. We need to get those pilots! Ah!
Captain Panaka points to 20 guards, ground crew, and pilots held in a corner by 6 battle droids.
I'll take care of that. Master, you're muted, Master.
Thank
There
you,
we go.
my young Padawan. I'll
Yes.
get the others to the ship, and we will meet you.
Obi-Wan heads toward the group of captured pilots. Droids surround the group. They leave.
Where are you going? What is this?
I am the ambassador for the Supreme Chancellor, and I am taking these people to the Senate.
No, you're not. But you're under arrest. I'm the score.
The droid guard draws his weapon, but before any of the droids can fire, they are cut down. Other droids run in to their aid. Obi-Wan attacks the guards around the pilots. Qui-Gon stands, fighting off droids as the others rush on board the spacecraft. Obi-Wan, 4 freed pilots, and 3 ground crew members rush away. The other 3 pilots and guard rush to Sio Bibble. Finally, Qui-Gon jumps on board. Alarms sound. More droids rush into the hangar as the ship takes off. Exterior Theed, hangar entry, day. The ship exits the hangar. Battle droids standing in the hangar shoot at them. Exterior, space. The sleek spacecraft speeds away from the planet of Naboo and heads for the deadly Federation blockade. Interior, Naboo spacecraft, cockpit. The pilot navigates toward the massive battleship. Qui-Gon and Captain Panaka watch.
Our communications are still jammed.
Interior, Naboo spacecraft, droid hold. Jar Jar is led into a low, cramped doorway by Obi-Wan.
Now stay here and stay out of trouble.
Obi-Wan closes the door. Jar Jar looks around and sees a long row of 5 short, dome-topped astro droids, R2 units. They all look alike except for their paint color, and they seem to be shut down.
Oh, boys. This one a long trip, eh?
Jar Jar taps a bright red R2 unit on the head, and its head pops up a bit. He lets out a gasp as he lifts the head.
Tis opens. Whoops.
Many springs and things come flying out. Jar Jar quickly closes it again, very embarrassed.
Just okay. Oh.
Exterior, space battle. The Naboo spacecraft heads even closer to the massive Federation battleships. They are surrounded by explosions. Interior, Naboo spacecraft cockpit. Alarm sounds fill the cockpit as Obi-Wan enters.
Oh, yes, honey, we should abort, sir. Our deflection shields can't withstand this.
Stay on course.
Do you have a cloaking device?
No, we are not militaristic people. This is why the Federation was brave enough to attack us.
The Federation uses pulsar tracking. Try spinning the ship. It will make it difficult for them to get a reading.
Exterior, Naboo spacecraft, space. The ship starts spinning as it races toward the battleship. Interior, Naboo spacecraft, droid hold. The lights go on and all the droids are activated. The spinning doesn't seem to affect them. They rush to an exterior airlock, except for the red one, who runs into a wall. Jar Jar holds on for dear life. One little blue astro droid, who is especially dedicated, lets out a loud screech as he passes Jar Jar, causing the Gungan to jump. The little droid enters an airlock and is ejected onto the exterior of the ship. Exterior, Naboo spacecraft, Federation battleship, space. As the droids pop onto the exterior of the Naboo spacecraft, it stops spinning as it races across the surface of the massive battleship. Interior, Naboo spacecraft, cockpit. Everyone in the cockpit is pleased as the battleship recedes in the distance. Exterior, Naboo spacecraft, engines, space. Federation fighters blow away 3 astro droids. The blue droid connects some wires, causing sparks to fly. The lone blue droid finishes his repairs and goes back into the ship. The Naboo spacecraft races away from the Federation fighters. Interior, Naboo spacecraft, cockpit. Qui-Gon and Captain Panaka stand behind them. Obi-Wan is in the co-pilot's seat, working with the pilot.
There's not.
Interior, Naboo spacecraft, cockpit. Qui-Gon and Captain Panaka stand behind them. Obi-Wan is in the co-pilot's seat, working with the pilot.
There's not enough power to get us to Corsican, honey. The hyperdrive is leaking.
We'll have to land somewhere to refuel and repair the ship.
Qui-Gon studies the star chart on a monitor.
Here, Master. Tatooine. Just small out of the way, poor. The Trade Federation has no presence there. Those
How can you be
two-stepping
sure?
morons.
How can you be sure?
It's controlled by the huts, yes.
The huts.
It's risky, but there are no alternatives.
You can't take Her Royal Highness there. The huts are gangsters. If they discovered her.
It would be no different than if we landed on a system controlled by the Federation, except the huts aren't looking for her, which gives us the advantage.
Captain Panaka takes a deep breath in frustration, then leaves the cockpit.
Start the sequence to light speed.
The pilot pulls back on the hyperdrive and all the stars streak into oblivion. Exterior space, Naboo starship. The Naboo starship streaks into hyperspace. Interior Federation battleship conference room. Newt and Rune sit around a conference table with the hologram of Darth Sidious.
Look, we control all of the cities in Naboo, and we're searching for any other settlements.
Destroy all the high-ranking officials. Viceroy, slowly, quietly. The Queen Amidala. Has she been eliminated?
She has disappeared, my lord. We think she's dead. Our Naboo cruiser tried to run the blockade. We think it was destroyed when it went to hyperspace.
That's not good enough, Viceroy. You must find that ship and destroy it.
My lord, it's impossible to locate a ship traveling at light speed.
Not for a Sith.
Hologram of a second Sith Lord appears behind Darth Sidious.
Viceroy, this is my apprentice, Lord Maul. He will be joining you on Naboo. Expect you will cooperate with him. You will find your lost ship.
Yes, my lord.
The holograms fade off.
Oh, this is getting out of hand. Now there's two of them.
Oh. Well, the Sith Lord is here with us. I told you we shouldn't have made this bargain. What will happen with the Jedi become aware of these Sith Lords?
Interior Naboo spacecraft, Queen's chambers. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Captain Panaka, and the little blue droid stand before Queen Amidala and her two handmaidens.
An extremely well put together little droid. Without doubt, it saved the ship as well as our lives.
It is to be commended. What's its number?
The little blue droid lets out a series of beeps. Captain Panaka leans over and scrapes some dirt off the side of the droid and reads the number.
Ryan, where's our beeps? R2D2, Your Highness.
Right, move, right.
Thank you, R2D2. You have been proven to be very loyal. Padme.
Padme bows.
Clean this droid up the best you can. It deserves our gratitude. Continue, Captain. I assume there is more to this audience than praising a droid.
Right, move.
Captain Panaka looks nervously to Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Your Majesty, we're headed for a remote planet called Tatooine. Yes, it is not a part of the Republic and is a part of in a system that is beyond the reach of the Trade Federation. There will be we will be able to make some much needed repairs, then travel to a croissant.
This Tatooine it's dangerous.
Got me a croissant. Yes, Your Highness, it's controlled by a group of gangs called the Hutts. I do not agree with the Jedi on this.
Trust my judgment, Your Highness. Yes.
Oh, I trust you.
Interior, Naboo spacecraft hallway. Padme sits in the hallway cleaning R2D2, the brave little astro droid. Jar Jar pops his head out of an open door. Both Padme and R2 jump and let a little scream. The Gungan is embarrassed that he frightened them.
Sorry, no mean to scare you.
That's all right.
discovered early back there. Need it?
Thank you. This little guy is quite a mess.
Jar Jar hands Padme an oil can.
I'm Jar Jar Binks.
I'm Padme. I attend Her Highness. You're a Gungan, aren't you? How did you end up here with us?
I don't know. One day started petting, okay, with first came on a walk in the swamp, and then boom, I got very scared. Grabbed the Jedi and before me's a night, me's a here. Oh, I got very, very scared.
R2 beeps a sympathetic beep.
Right? Well, this fool.
Interior Naboo spacecraft cockpit. Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Captain Panaka watch over the pilot's shoulder as he pushes the controls forward, and the ship comes out of hyperspace in a streak of stars. A large yellow planet appears directly ahead.
That's it. Tatooine.
There's a different settlement, a spaceport. Looks like.
Land near the outskirts. We don't want to attract any attention. And send no transmissions from this ship.
Exterior Tatooine space. The ship heads towards the planet of Tatooine. Exterior Tatooine desert. Naboo spacecraft day. The Naboo spacecraft lands in the desert in a swirl of dust. The spaceport of Mos Espa is seen in the distance. Interior Naboo spacecraft main area. Obi-Wan is hoisting a large engine part out of the floor panel with the aid of a droid anti-gravity hoist. Jar Jar rushes up to him and falls to his knees.
You want, sir? Please, let me go.
Sorry, my master's right. We'll make things less obvious.
Jar Jar backs to R2 in the hallway as Qui-Gon, dressed as a farmer, enters the main area.
We need a new hyperdrive generator.
Qui-Gon moves closer to Obi-Wan and speaks quietly to him.
I shouldn't be long. Be wary. I sense a disturbance in the Force.
That's Jeff Goldblum quiet. I feel it also, Master.
Qui-Gon goes to the exit ramp. Exterior, Tatooine, desert, spaceship, day. Qui-Gon descends the ramp and meets Jar Jar and R2 in the wind-swept desert. They start their trek toward the city of Mos Espa. In the distance, a strange-looking caravan makes its way toward town.
Oh, the sun does murder the skin.
From the spaceship, Captain Panaka and Padme run toward the captain.
Wait!
Qui-Gon stops as they catch up. Padme is dressed in rough peasant's garb.
Her Highness commands you take her to the handmaiden with you. She wishes her to observe the local.
No more commands from Her Highness today, Captain. The spaceport is not going to be pleasant.
The Queen wishes it. She's curious about the planet. Don't make me go back and tell her you refuse.
I've been trained in defense. I can take care of myself.
I don't have time to argue, but let me warn you, this is not a good idea.
Exterior, Mos Espa, street, day. The little group walks down the main street of Mos Espa. They pass dangerous-looking citizens of all types. Padme looks around in awe at this exotic environment.
Moisture farms for the most part, but also a few indigenous tribes and scavengers. A few spaceports like this one are havens to those who wish to be found.
Like us.
Jar Jar is in a constant state of panic. R2 whistles along with perfect confidence.
This is very bad, very bad. Oh,
Exterior, Mos Espa, junk dealer plaza, day. The group comes to a little plaza surrounded by several junk spaceship dealers.
We'll try one of these small dealers.
They head for a little junk shop that has a huge pile of broken spaceships stacked up behind it. Interior, Watto's junk shop, day. Obi-Wan, Jar Jar, Padme, and R2 enter the dingy junk shop and are greeted by Watto, a pudgy blue alien who flies on short little wings like a hummingbird.
Hachabadanago.
I need parts for a J-type 327 Nubian.
Haha, yes, Nubian. We have lots of that. But what kind of junk?
Well, I have a readout here.
R2 plugs into a small view screen and spits out a long list of beeps and whistles as a disheveled boy, Anakin Skywalker, runs in from the junkyard. He's about 9 years old, very dirty and dressed in rags. Watto raises a hand and Anakin flinches.
Don't mind him. That's my little slave boy. Oh, what took you so long? Little
Altasa
slave.
Jobasa. I was cleaning the bin like you.
Never. All right. Very good. Never mind. Watch the store. I've got some selling to do here. So let me take you. Let me take you the. Help! I'm losing it. Big, strong American kid. So let me take you out back. Find what you need.
R2 and Qui-Gon follow Watto toward the junkyard, leaving Jar Jar with Padme and the young boy Anakin. Jar Jar picks up a gizmo, trying to figure out its purpose. Qui-Gon takes the part out of his hand and puts it back.
Don't touch anything.
Jar Jar makes a rude face to Qui-Gon's back and sticks out his long tongue. Anakin sits on the counter pretending to clean a part, staring at Padme. She is the most beautiful creature he has ever seen in his life. He is in awe of her radiance. Padme is a little embarrassed by his stare, but she musters up an amused smile. Finally, he gets the courage to speak.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I've heard the deep space pilots talk about it. They live on the moons of Viago, I think. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe. They're good and kind and so pretty they make even the most hardened space pirate cry.
Padme looks at him, not knowing what to say.
I've never heard of angels.
You must be one. Maybe you just don't know it. You have such strong energy.
Padme walks over to Anakin and laughs nervously.
You're a funny little boy. How do you know so much?
Listen to all the traders and pilots who come through here. I'm a pilot, you know, and someday I'm going to fly away from this place.
You're a pilot.
All my life.
Have you been here long?
Since I was very little. 3, I think. My mom and I were sold to Gardella the Hutt, but he lost us betting on the pod races to Watto here, who's a lot better master than Gardella, I think.
Oh, you're a slave.
Anakin looks at Padme defiantly.
Hey, I'm a person. My name is Anakin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't fully understand. This is a strange world to me.
Anakin studies her intently.
You're a strange girl to me.
Jar Jar pushes the nose on what appears to be a little droid, and it instantly comes to life, grows legs and arms, and starts marching around, knocking over everything. Jar Jar holds on, but can't stop it.
Hit the nose!
Jar Jar hits the nose, and the droid instantly collapses back to its original state, plopping Jar Jar on the ground. Anakin and Padme laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Anakin watches Padme straighten her hair.
I'm going to marry you.
Padme starts laughing. Jar Jar rolls his eyes.
I mean it.
You are an odd one. Why did you say that?
I guess because it's true.
Well, I'm afraid I can't marry you.
Anakin.
Anakin, you're just a little boy.
Well, I won't always be.
Exterior, Watto's junkyard, behind shop, day. R2 is plugged into a small portable monitor held by Qui-Gon, who hands it to Watto.
Now, let me see. A Tier 14 hyperdrive generator. You're in luck, D. I'm the only one in town who has one. But you might as well buy a new ship. It'll be cheaper, I think. Saying which, how are you going to pay for all this?
I have 20,000 Republic diaries.
Republic credits are no good out here. I need something real.
I don't have anything else. Yes. But credits will do fine.
No, they won't.
Qui-Gon, using his mind power, waves his hand again.
Credits will do fine.
No, they won't. What you think you're some kind of Jedi waving your hand around like that? I'm a Toydarian. My tricks don't work on me. Only money. No money, no parts. No deal. No one else around here has a T14 hyperdrive. I promise you that.
Interior Watto's junk shop day. Jar Jar pulls a part out of a stack of parts to inspect it, and they all come tumbling down. He struggles to catch them, only to knock more down. Anakin and Padme are oblivious.
I wouldn't have lasted long if I weren't so good at fixing things. I'm making my own droid.
Qui-Gon hurries into the shop, followed by R2.
We're leaving.
Jar Jar follows Qui-Gon. Padme gives Anakin a loving look.
Oh, I'm glad I met you.
Anakin.
Anakin.
Anakin Skywalker.
Padme Naberi.
Padme turns, and Anakin looks sad as he watches her leave.
I'm glad I met you too.
Watto enters from the junkyard, shaking his head.
Outlanders. They think because we live so far from the center, we don't know nothing.
La lava number tafu. They seem nice to me.
Clean the racks. Then you can go home.
Yippee!
It runs to the back. Exterior Mos Espa Street Alcove Day. Qui-Gon, R2, Jar Jar, and Padme have found a quiet spot between two buildings. The busy street beyond is filled with dangerous-looking creatures. Obi-Wan is talking on his comlink while Jar Jar nervously watches the street.
Obi-Wan, you're sure this isn't anything of value left on board?
A few containers of supplies, the Queen's jewelry maybe. Not enough for you to barter with. Not in the amounts you're talking about.
All right, another solution will present itself. Check back.
Qui-Gon puts his comlink away and starts out into the main street. Jar Jar grabs his arm.
Okay, do being sparabouts away. Always be robbed, uncrunched.
Not likely. We have nothing of value. It's that's our problem.
Exterior Mos Espa Street Market Day. Qui-Gon, Padme, Jar Jar, and R2 move out into the street. Jar Jar is walking along the crowded market street behind the others. Obi-Wan, Padme, and R2 walk by an outdoor cafe filled with a rough gang of aliens, one of which is especially ugly, Sebulba, a spider-like creature. Jar Jar stops for a moment in front of a stall selling dead frogs hanging on a wire. He looks around to see if anyone is looking, then leans over, sticks out his tongue, and gets a hold of one, pulling it into his mouth. Unfortunately, the frog is tied tightly to the wire, but is elastic enough so that Jar Jar can get its head into his mouth. The vendor suddenly appears.
Huzzah! 7 Trugits.
Jar Jar opens his mouth in surprise, and the frog snaps away, ricochets around the market, and lands in Sebulba's soup, splashing him. As Jar Jar moves away from the vendor, Sebulba jumps up on the table and grabs the hapless Gungan.
Jump!
Me?
Sebulba holds the frog up to the Gungan threateningly. Several other creatures start to gather. Sebulba shoves Jar Jar to the ground. The Gungan desperately tries to scramble to safety.
Oh, why me's always the one?
Because you're afraid.
Jar Jar turns to see Anakin pushing his way next to him. The boy stands up to Sebulba in a very self-assured way.
Jesco Sebulba, Kowalpa Tuni Rana. Careful, this one's very well connected.
Sebulba stops his assault on Jar Jar and grabs Anakin.
Connected? What do you mean, slave?
Oh, the hut. Chaporco Amenkesa, Mitisa Rada Kopana Paschapa Chawa. As in hut, big time outlander. This one, I'd hate to see you dice before we race again.
Right, Wormer. It will be the end of you. If you weren't a slave, I'd squash you now.
Sebulba turns away.
Chepana Domali. It'd be a pity if you had to pay for me.
Qui-Gon, Padme, and R2 arrive.
Oh, hi again. Hey, your buddy here was about to be turned to green goo. He picked a fight with a Doug, an especially dangerous Doug called Sebulba.
No, sir. No, sir. Me's hate crunching. That's the last thing me want.
Nevertheless, the boy is right. You're heading for trouble. Thank you, young friend.
Padme looks at Anakin and smiles. He smiles back. They start walking down the crowded street.
Chris done nothing.
Fear attracts the fearful. He was trying to overcome his fear by squashing you. Be less afraid.
And that works for you.
To a point.
Ooh.
Exterior Mos Espa Street, fruit stand, day. Anakin and the group stop at a fruit stand run by a jolly but very poor old lady named Jira.
How you feeling today, Jira?
Hunter.
Jira, say something for God's sake.
He's never been kind to me, you know, Annie.
Hey, guess what? I found that cooling unit I've been searching for. It's pretty beat up, but I'll have it fixed up for you in no time, I promise.
You're a fine boy, Annie.
I'll take 4 pallies today. You'll like these.
Anakin reaches in his pocket and comes up with 3 coins. He drops one. Qui-Gon picks it up, revealing for a moment his lightsaber.
Oh, whoops, I thought I had more. Make that 3, I'm not hungry.
The wind picks up. Shop owners are starting to close up their shops as Jira gives them their pollies.
Gracious, my bones are aching. Storm's coming on, Annie. You better get home quickly, y'all.
Hey, do you have shelter?
We'll make it back to our ship.
Is it far?
On the outskirts.
You'll never reach the outskirts in time. Sandstorms are very, very dangerous. Come with me, hurry.
The group follows Anakin as he rushes down the windy street. Exterior Tatooine, desert, spaceship day. Obi-Wan stands in front of the Naboo spacecraft as the wind picks up and begins to whip at his robe. Captain Panaka exits the ship and joins him.
The storm's gonna slow them down.
We'd better steal that ship.
Captain Panaka's comlink sounds off.
Yes,
We're receiving a message from home.
we'll be right there.
Interior Naboo spacecraft, Queen's Chambers. Amidala, Eritrea, Padme, and Obi-Wan watch a very bad transmission of a CO Bibble hologram.
Cut off all food supplies, including all the local the possum population, until you return. The death toll is catastrophic. We must bow to their whistles, Your Highness. Please tell us what to do. If you can hear us.
Amidala looks upset, almost nervous.
Shen no reply. You must not send transmission of any kind from this ship.
Exterior Mos Espa, slave quarters, street, sandstorm. The wind is blowing hard as Qui-Gon, Jar Jar, and Padme follow Anakin down the street and into a slave hovel. Interior, Anakin's hovel, main room, day. Qui-Gon, Jar Jar, R2, and Padme enter a small living space.
Mom, I'm home.
This is cozy.
Anakin's mother, Shmi Skywalker, a warm, friendly woman of 40, enters from her work area and is startled by the room full of people.
Oh my! Annie, what's that?
These are my friends, Mom. This is Padme and, gee, I don't know any of your names.
I am Qui-Gon Jinn, and this is Jar Jar Binks.
R2 beeps.
And our droid, R2D2.
Hey, I'm building the droid. You want to come see?
Anakin, why are they here?
A sandstorm, Mom. Listen.
The wind howls outside.
Your son was kind enough to offer shelter.
Come on, let me show you my droid.
Anakin leads Padme into the other room. R2 follows, beeping all the way. Qui-Gon takes 5 small capsules from his utility belt and hands them to Shmi.
I have enough food for a meal.
Oh, thank you very so much. Sorry if I was abrupt. I never get used to Anakin's surprises.
He's a very special boy.
Shmi looks at him as if he's discovered a secret.
Yeah, I know.
Interior, Anakin's hovel, bedroom, day. Anakin shows off his android, which is lying on his workbench. There are 2 eyes in the head. The body, arms, and legs have no outer coverings.
Isn't he great? He's not finished yet.
Oh, he's wonderful.
You really like him? He's a protocol droid to help Mom. Watch.
Anakin pushes a switch, and the droid lights up and sits up.
Wow. How do you do? Well, C-3PO. I'm a human cyborg relation.
CPO? Shouldn't he have a number? All the protocol droids I've ever known have had a number.
Really? Hey, what's your favorite number?
Oh, I don't know. 69, I guess.
Okay. 69 it is.
Anakin grabs an electronic gadget with a handle from his desk, pops it into 69O's head, and ratchets the handle several times to get a desired setting. He pushes the button on the handle, and 69EO is jolted several times. He stands up.
Wow. Ow. Woohoo. Eek. Ooh. How do you do? Well, C-69. Oh, I'm a human cyborg relation. You know, I like to give relations. Would you like some champagne? I could serve you with some champagne up in my suite.
Oh, he's perfect.
R2 lets out a flurry of beeps and whistles.
Wow, what are you talking about? Weird little droid. You saying I'm naked. What?
Rape vote. You're naked. Rape vote.
He's right, 69-year-old, but don't worry. I'll fix that soon, I promise.
You better. I'll stab you in
I'll
the
show
face
you
with
my
a soldering
racer.
iron.
Hey, I'm building the racer too.
Padme smiles at his enthusiasm.
Oh.
Interior, Anakin's hovel, main room, day. Qui-Gon listens to his comlink.
The Queen was upset, but absolutely no reply was sent.
It sounds like bait.
For what trap?
The connection trace could track anyone listening to the source.
That would take a very long time.
Not for a Jedi.
Either way, we're running out of time.
Exterior Mos Espa sandstorm, day. The giant sandstorm engulfs the town, including the Naboo spaceship on the outskirts, the city center where Watto's shop is, and the slave quarters where drifts of sand begin building up against Anakin's house. Interior, Anakin's hovel, main room, day. Qui-Gon, Anakin, Shmi, Jar Jar, and Padme are seated around a makeshift table having dinner. A glowing heater is in the background as the wind howls outside. Jar Jar slurps his soup rather loudly. Everyone looks at him. He turns a little brighter red.
Didn't highlight this. All slaves have transmitters placed inside the body somewhere.
Yeah, I've been working on a scanner to try to locate mine, but no luck.
Any attempt to escape.
And they blow you up. Poof.
Padme and Jar Jar are horrified.
Oh.
Oh, rude!
I can't believe there is still slavery in the galaxy. The Republic's anti-slavery laws.
The Republic doesn't exist out here.
Oh my.
Mama,
We
you
survive
okay?
on our own.
An awkward silence. Anakin attempts to end the embarrassment.
Hey, have you ever seen a pod race?
Padme shakes her head no. She notices the concern of Shmi. Jar Jar snatches some food from a bowl at the other end of the table with his tongue. Qui-Gon gives him a dirty look.
They have pod racing on Mala Stair. They're very fast, very dangerous.
I'm the only human who can do it.
Shmi looks askance at her son.
Mom, well, I'm not bragging. It's true. Watto says he's never heard of a human doing it.
You must have Jedi reflexes in you when to race pods.
Anakin smiles. Jar Jar attempts to spare another bit of food from the bowl with his tongue, but Qui-Gon in a flash grabs it between his thumb and forefinger. Jar Jar is startled.
Don't do that again.
Jar Jar tries to acknowledge with some silly mumbling. Qui-Gon lets go and it snaps back into Jar Jar's mouth.
I was wondering something.
What?
Well, you're a Jedi Knight, aren't you?
What makes you think that?
I saw your laser sword or your lightsaber or whatever. And your tunic there. Only Jedi Knights carry that kind of weapon.
Qui-Gon leans back and smiles.
Perhaps I killed the Jedi and stole it from him.
I don't think so. No one can kill a Jedi Knight.
I wish it were so.
I've dreamed I was a Jedi Knight. I came back here and freed all the slaves. Have you come to free us?
No, I'm afraid not.
I think you have. Why else would you be here?
Qui-Gon thinks for a moment.
That's not Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, what the hell are you doing here?
Sorry,
there's no way that's Obi-Wan's line.
Qui-Gon, I think it's a typo.
Obi-Wan, what are you doing in my house?
Yes. I see there's no fooling you. You mustn't let anyone know about us. We are on our way to Coruscant. Coruscant, the central system in the Republic, on a very important mission. It must be kept secret from pastries.
Coruscant. Wow, how did you end up out here in the Outer Rim?
We've had some difficulties. Our ship was damaged, and we're stranded here until we can repair it.
Oh, I can help. I can fix anything.
I believe you can, but our first job is to acquire the parts we need.
With no more to trade.
These junk dealers must have a weakness of some kind.
Gambling. Everything here revolves around gambling. And those awful races.
Pod races. Greed can be a powerful ally if it's used properly.
Hey, I built a racer. It's the fastest ever. There's a big race tomorrow on Boonta Eve. You could enter my pod. It's all but finished.
Hey! Shut up, you moron! Settle down! Watto won't.
Hey, Watto doesn't know I built it. You can make him think it was yours, and you could get him to let me pilot it for you.
I don't even want you to race, Annie. It's awful. I die every time Watto makes you do it.
But, Mom, I love it. They need help. They're in trouble. The prize money would more than pay for the parts they need.
Listen, pity that goo.
Your mother's right. We must get to Croissant. Is there anyone around here friendly to the Republic who might be able to help us?
Me shakes her head no.
We have to help them, Mom. You tell me that the biggest problem in the universe is no one helps each other.
Anakin! Don't you test me, you little shit!
Jar Jar belches. There's silence for a moment as they eat.
We don't want to Oh, we don't want to put your son in danger. We will find another way.
No, Annie's right. There's no other way. I may not like it, but he can help you. He was meant to help you.
Is that a yes? That's a yes.
The storm continues to rage outside the slave hovel. Exterior Coruscant, balcony overlooking city, day. Darth Sidious and a hologram of Darth Maul look out over the vast city.
So Tatooine is sparsely populated. If Trace correct, I think I'm gonna find him pretty quickly.
Remember,
Master.
you must dispense with the Queen and these meddling Jedi. Okay? Move against the Jedi first. You will then have no difficulty with the Queen.
Yeah. I'm super excited that we're finally gonna reveal ourselves. Wow, this is gonna be really cool. Yeah.
Everything is going as planned. It is too late for them to stop us now. The Republic will soon be in my control.
The hologram of Darth Maul fades off as Darth Sidious looks out over the city. Exterior, Mos Espa Junk Dealer Plaza, day. The storm has passed. Vendors and street people clean up the mess and rebuild their food stalls. Jar Jar sits on a box in front of Watto's parts shop, watching all the activity with growing nervousness. R2 is standing next to him. Padme stops Qui-Gon as he is about to enter the shop.
Are you sure about this? Trusting our fate to a boy we hardly know. The Queen will not approve.
The Queen does not need to know.
I don't approve.
Qui-Gon turns and starts into the shop. Interior Watto's junk shop, day. Watto and Anakin are in the middle of an animated discussion in Huttese. Qui-Gon walks in and Watto and Anakin join him.
The boy tells me you want to sponsor him in the race. Can't afford parts. How can you do this? Not on Republic credits, I think.
My ship will be the entry fee.
Qui-Gon pulls a small object that looks like a watch out of his pocket, and a hologram of the Naboo spaceship appears about a foot long in front of Watto. He studies it.
Not bad, a Nubian.
It's in good order, except for the parts that we need.
But what would the boy ride? He smashed up my pod in the last race. It will take some long time to fix it.
Anakin is embarrassed and steps forward.
It wasn't my fault, really. Sebulba flashed me with his vent ports. I actually saved the pod, mostly.
That you did. The boy is good, no doubt there.
I have acquired a pod in a game of chance, the fastest ever built. Yes.
I hope you didn't kill anyone I know for it. So you will supply the pod and the entry fee. I supply the boy. We split the winnings 50-50, I think.
50-50. It's if it's going to be 50-50, I suggest you front the cash for the entry. If we win, you'll keep all the winnings. Yes, the winnings, minus the cost of the parts that I need. If we lose, you keep my ship. Yes.
Watto thinks about this. Anakin tries not to be nervous.
Either way, you win.
Jill, your friend is a foolish one, methinks.
Interior Naboo spacecraft cockpit. Obi-Wan sits in the Naboo spacecraft cockpit, speaking into his comlink.
I'm sorry, what page are we on?
Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're on page 56.
What if this plan fails, Master? We could be stuck here for a very long time.
Ship without a power supply will not get us anywhere. And there is something about this boy.
Creepy.
Exterior Mos Espa, slave quarters, porch, day. Qui-Gon puts the comlink away as Shmi comes onto the porch. Padme, Anakin, Jar Jar, and R2 work on the engines of the pod racer in the courtyard below.
You should be proud of your son. He gives without any thought of reward.
My son, he know nothing of greed. He has
Has special powers.
That's what I was saying.
He can see things. Before they happen. That's why he appears to have such quick reflexes. It's a Jedi trait.
He deserves better than a slave's life.
The Force is unusually strong with him. That much is clear.
Can you help him?
And no. Had he been born in the Republic, we would have identified him early, and he would have become a Jedi, no doubt. He has the way, but it's too late. Too late for him now.
Exterior Mos Espa, slave quarters, backyard, day. Kitster, a young boy about Anakin's age, Seek, a boy of 12, Amy, a girl of 6, and Wald, a strange creature with big eyes and a long nose, about 6 years old, join Anakin, Jar Jar, R2, and Padme, securing some wiring on the afterburner.
Padme and Jar Jar, this is my best friend Kitster, and Seek, Amy, and Wald.
All whistle, hoot, and speak in greeting.
Wow, a real asteroid droid. How'd you get so lucky?
Well, that isn't half of it. I'm into the Ubuntu race tomorrow.
What, with this?
You're such a joke, Annie.
That thing's never gonna run.
Come on, let's go play ball. Keep it up, Annie. You're gonna be squash bug.
Seek, Wald, and Amy take off laughing. Jar Jar is fiddling with one of the energy binder plates.
Hey, Jar Jar, stay away from those energy binders.
Oh, me?
If your hand gets caught in the beam, it'll go numb for hours.
Jar Jar peeks at the energy plate. It makes a little electronic pop, and he jumps back.
But you don't even know if this thing will run.
It will.
Qui-Gon approaches the group and gives Anakin a small battery.
I think it's time we found out. Use his power charge.
Yes, sir.
Anakin jumps into the little capsule behind the two giant engines. He puts the power pack into the dashboard. Everyone backs away. The engines ignite with a roar. Everyone cheers. Exterior Mos Espa, slave quarters, porch, day. Shmi, watching from the porch, smiles sadly. Exterior, Tatooine, Desert Mesa, twilight. The sinister-looking Sith spacecraft lands on top of a desert mesa at dusk, scattering a herd of bantas. Darth Maul walks to the edge of the mesa, studies the landscape with a pair of electro binoculars. He picks out the light of 3 different cities in the distance, then pushes buttons on an electronic armband he is wearing. 6 football-sized probe droids float out of the ship and head off in 3 different directions toward the cities. Darth Maul stands on the mesa and watches them through his electro binoculars. Exterior Mos Espa, slave quarters, porch, sunrise. Padme exits the hovel. Exterior Mos Espa, slave quarters, backyard, sunrise. As the twin suns rise, R2 is busy painting the pod of the racer. Anakin is asleep. Padme passes R2.
Well, I hope you're about finished.
R2 whistles a positive reply. Padme sees Kitster riding toward them on an Eopoi, a strange-looking camel-like creature. He is leading a second EOP behind him. Padme goes over to Anakin. He looks very vulnerable as he sleeps. She watches him, then touches him on the cheek. Anakin wakes up, yawns, and looks at her a little puzzled.
You were in my dream. You were leading a huge army into battle.
Oh, I hope not. I hate fighting. Your mother wants you to come in and clean up. We have to leave soon.
Anakin stands up and stretches just as Kitster arrives.
Hook him up, Kitster. I won't be long. Where's Qui-Gon?
He and Jar Jar left already. They're meeting with Watto at the arena.
Race crews mill about. Interior Mosespa Arena main hangar day. The hangar is a large building with a dozen or so pods being readied for the race. Alien crews and pilots rush about, making last-minute fixes on their vehicles. Watto, Qui-Gon, and Jar Jar walk through the activity.
I don't want to see I want to see your spaceship the moment the race is over.
Patience, my blue friend. You'll have your winnings before the suns. Two suns. And we'll be far away from here.
Not if your ship belongs to me, I think. I warn you, no funny business.
You don't think Anakin will win?
Watto stops before an orange racer. Sitting to one side, having his neck and shoulders massaged, is Sebulba.
Don't get me wrong, though. I have great faith in the boy. He's a credit to your race. But Sebulba, he's going to win, I think.
Why?
Always wins. Ha ha ha. I'm betting heavily on Sebulba.
I'll take that bet.
Ha ha ha. What? What do you mean?
I'll wager my new racing pod against, say, the boy and his mother.
Pod for slaves? I don't think so. Well, perhaps. Just one? The mother, maybe. The boy isn't for sale.
Not Anakin?
Watto shakes his head.
For the fastest pod ever built?
Watto shakes his head again.
Both or no bet?
No pod's worth two slaves. Not by a long shot. One slave or nothing.
The boy, then.
Watto pulls out a small white cube from his pocket.
Will it fate decide? Blue is the boy, red his mother.
Watto tosses the cube down. Qui-Gon lifts his head slightly. Hand slightly. It turns blue. Qui-Gon smiles. Watto is angry.
You won the small toss, Outlander, but you won't win the race.
Anakin and Padme enter the hangar on one of the Epoys, pulling the engine. Kitster on another EOP is pulling another engine. R2 trundles behind, pulling the pod with Shmi sitting on it. Watto passes Anakin as he leaves.
Better stop your friend's bedding, or I'll end up owning him too.
Watto walks off, laughing.
What do you mean by that?
I'll tell you later.
This is so wizard. I'm sure you'll do it this time, Annie. Do what? Finish the race, of course. You've never won a race.
Well, not exactly.
Not even finished.
Anakin looks sheepish.
But Kister's right. I will this time.
Of course you will.